Have you ever sat down to play a game, told yourself, okay, just one more level, and then suddenly looked up to see hours have just vanished? Ever wonder why some video games feel less like a fun hobby and more like, I don't know, something you have to do? Well, today, we're diving deep into the powerful psychology that makes certain games so incredibly hard to put down. We're going to unpack this science of the compulsion loop. So get a load of this number. 500%. According to our source material, that's the increase some treatment centers have seen in referrals for kids who are struggling with excessive gaming. I mean, that is a massive, massive jump, and it really points to a growing issue.
So, that's the big question, right? How does a piece of software, a game, get such a powerful hold on someone's life? Is it just about a lack of willpower? Well, it turns out the answer is way more complicated than that, and it's actually built into the game's very design.
Yeah. The thing is, it's often not about some kind of personal weakness. The incredible pull of these games comes from very deliberate, very powerful psychological principles that are literally baked right into their code. It's the science of engagement, but, taken to a whole other level.
A lot of game developers are basically experts in behavioral psychology. They use those principles with one main goal: to keep you playing. And they're absolute masters at building what's called a compulsion loop, a cycle specifically designed to create a powerful, sticky habit.
Okay, so let's break this loop down. It all starts with a trigger. That could be anything, really. A little notification that pops up on your phone, or maybe just the feeling of being bored. That trigger leads to an action. You open the game, you start playing, and then comes the magic ingredient, the variable reward. This is the key. Maybe you get an amazing, super rare piece of loot, or maybe you get junk. That total unpredictability creates a powerful craving in your brain. It's this deep desire to do it again, to chase that next potential big win.
And wow, developers have a whole bag of tricks to keep that loop spinning. I mean, think about it. Loot boxes. They're the perfect variable reward system. Microtransactions let you pay real money to speed things up, giving you that hit of instant gratification. Endless leveling up means there's always another goal just around the corner. And then you have the social pressure from your guild or your team, which creates this powerful feeling of obligation to log in and play.
So that's the game's design, the external stuff. But what's actually happening inside our own heads when we get caught in this loop? To really get that, we need to talk about our brain chemistry, and one really important chemical in particular. And that chemical is dopamine. You've probably heard of it. People call it the brain's reward chemical. So when you accomplish something in a game, you find that rare item, you finally level up, you win a tough match, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine. It feels good, right? And your brain immediately learns, hey, I liked that, let's do that thing again.
Now this is where things get really eye-opening. Look at this comparison. On the left, you've got the game mechanics, all designed to trigger those dopamine hits. But on the right, you see the mechanisms of substance abuse. The source material we're looking at points out that both of these things can essentially hijack the exact same reward pathways in our brains, creating this powerful cycle of craving and compulsion. It's pretty serious stuff.
Okay, so knowing just how powerful these systems can be, it is absolutely crucial to know the signs for when a fun hobby might be crossing the line into a real problem. So what should you actually be looking out for, either in yourself or in people you care about?
Yeah, you really have to recognize these red flags. It often starts with just losing control over how much you play, when that one more game always turns into an all-nighter. It's when gaming starts to muscle out your real-world responsibilities, like school or your job, or even just getting enough sleep. A huge one is using gaming to escape your problems instead of facing them. But maybe the biggest red flag of all is when you keep playing even when you know it's causing real, negative consequences in your life.
And the fallout isn't just about your behavior. No, excessive gaming can have a real, lasting impact on your brain. All of that constant, intense stimulation can actually push your brain into a state that experts call hyperarousal.
So what is hyperarousal? Well, think of it like your brain's alarm system is stuck in the on position. It's just so overstimulated from the non-stop, high-reward action of the game that it forgets how to calm down. And this chronic state of stress can start to seriously mess with key parts of your everyday life.
Let's start with attention. When your brain gets trained to expect the constant rapid-fire stimulation of a video game, the real world can start to feel, well, kind of boring. Slower activities, like reading a book or even just holding a normal conversation, can become incredibly difficult. Your brain just struggles to focus because it's been rewired to expect a constant stream of action and rewards. This high alert state also does a number on your emotions.
A hyper-aroused brain is a stressed-out brain, and it has a really hard time managing feelings. This can look like a lot of different things, maybe more anxiety, a much shorter fuse, or having these huge emotional reactions to seemingly small things. It's almost like your brain's emotional volume knob is just stuck on max.
And finally, sleep. This constant stimulation has a huge impact here. You can't just flip a switch and power down a brain that's been running at 100 miles an hour all evening. This hyper-arousal state makes it incredibly hard to fall asleep and to stay asleep. And that creates this really vicious cycle. Not getting enough sleep makes you more tired and emotionally out of whack, which of course can make you want to escape back into gaming even more.
And all of this brings us to a final, really tough question. We all know games are supposed to be fun and engaging, but when designers are using these incredibly powerful psychological loops that we know can lead to addiction and real-world harm, where do we draw the line? When does good, engaging design cross over into outright user exploitation? It's a huge question, and something for all of us, players, parents, and the industry itself, to really think about.